Making a sunflower sachet is very easy. You start by crocheting 2 sunflower centers, crocheting them together by making the sunflower petals but leave an opening. Then chop up your wax melts, mix them together in with some polyfil, and then stuff that polyfil and those wax melts into the center, and then crochet it closed by making the sunflower petals. It's very easy. I like to chop the wax melts with the scissors and put them in a bowl. I am using an F crochet hook. The pattern calls for an E crochet hook, and I highly recommend that so the stuffing doesn't poke through. But for today, I am using an F crochet hook. The yarn I'm working with is by Lion Brand. It's Mandala. It's a 3-weight, and it's in the colorway Groot. I chopped up the yarn and I wound them in balls in colors that I thought would be pleasing to make a sunflower. I'm using this for the centers, most of the centers. Some of the centers have this dark gray-green color. I'm using these colors for the petals, the flower petals, and this for the leaves that go behind. I'll be using this green just so that we can see the colors well for the center of the sunflower. Make a slip knot, chain 3, and join in a ring. Join in a ring, chain 1, and 7 single crochets in the center of that ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to shove the stitches over just a little to make room for that 7th single crochet, and you notice that I have crocheted over the yarn tail. 7. Now we're going to bypass that chain 1 and slip stitch in the top of this single crochet. And there we have the ring. We can pull on that yarn tail and close up that hole. Now we have 7 single crochets in the ring. Next step is chain 1 and 2 single crochets in the back loop only in each single crochet around. That will make a total of 14 single crochets. And you can see I've single crocheted in the back loop only. I'll do that all the way around, and I will meet you at the end of the round. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We are at the end of the round. We will bypass this chain 1 bit. I'm going to go ahead and end off with this center main color and pull up a contrasting color. Now we'll bypass the chain 1 and join with a slip stitch, pulling up the contrasting color. Here we have the contrasting color. I've inserted my hook into the top of that single crochet. I've dropped and ended off with the other 2 ends. I'm going to leave a little bit of a generous tail, and I'm just going to pull up the contrasting color. I'll pull this down just a bit. Now I will chain 1 and single crochet in the back loop of the first stitch, 2 single crochets in the back loop of the next stitch, single crochet, 1 in the next, 2 single crochets in the next stitch in the back loop only. So we execute that pattern all the way around. So it would be 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Let me continue on around, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. I am at the end of the round. This is the first sunflower center. I'll skip that chain 1 and then slip stitch in the top of that single crochet, pull up a loop and end off. So I have the first center made. I pay a little bit of attention to how I pull the yarn tails to try to get the colors to be an even seam. Then I turn this over. I've already pulled this center seam to make the knot small. Go ahead and give it another tug. And because these ends will be hidden on the inside, I just make a square knot. That looks good in the center. Then I take this yarn tail where I ended off, and I weave it down through. I put it down through with a yarn needle and bring it in, and I clip off, tie it. Make sure that looks even. It looks pretty good. Then I tie this. I like to tie it down to the center. Then I clip off all of these ends. Just clip them off and throw it away. Let me get that second center made, and I will join you and show you how to start making the flower petals. The second center is made, but I'm not going to end off the working yarn. Do not cut that. I'm going to use it to crochet this together and start the flower petals. So turn this over, tie the 3 yarn tails together into square knots, and then clip those off, but leave that working yarn untied and unclipped. Just tie these together and clip these 3 off, leaving the working yarn. Getting those out of the way. Now, we have 2 centers. This is the right side, this is the wrong side. So we place wrong sides together. So insert your hook, matching up the stitches into the stitch behind, and draw up a loop. Now chain 6. Now slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook, chain 3. And so I'm going to insert my hook in the next set of matching stitches. And there you can see I'm going to slip stitch, chain 6, slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook, which is a picot, and chain 3, and slip stitch in the next set of stitches, chain 6, slip stitch in the 3rd chain, chain 3, find the next set of stitches. There's 1, there's 2 on the back, join with a slip stitch and chain 6. And repeat that sequence all the way around. It looks a little odd now, but I promise it will look like a little sunflower. All of the stitches will come together, start pushing one another, and they will look good. Execute these petals all the way around until you have a little opening, and then stop. Because we need to put the polyfil and wax melts in the center. The wax melts will be chopped up with the polyfil, or you could use herbs. Someone mentioned lavender or catnip, but let me show you how to prepare the wax melt. I'll be right back. Yankee Candle Autumn Wreath in a fragranced wax melt. Let me pull one of these out. So I take a wax melt and I use utility scissors, and I just start cutting chunks into a little bowl. Now be careful, don't cut your fingers. Okay, so we have a good little bit of wax melt. So then I take my little sunflower, I open it up, then I tear off a little bit of polyfil. I tear off maybe about the size, a little less than the palm of my hand. Then I pick up the wax melts and I start putting chunks and pieces in the polyfil, folding the polyfil around it, making a little nest in the polyfil for the wax melts. And I just fill it till I can't fill it anymore. And then I work this down into my little sunflower. And it goes right down in there without hardly any problems whatsoever. You might think when you first start that, oh no, I've got too big of a chunk, but that was just the right amount. Now we're going to crochet this closed. Let me scoot those wax melts off. Wow, it smells really nice. I love this scent. Now we will continue by making the sunflower petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch in the 3rd chain and chain 3. Now find the 2 matching stitches. I like to make sure I go up and over so I'm not pulling through the polyfil. And slip stitch. Chain 6. Slip stitch in the 3rd chain. Chain 3. And continue on around, closing that hole. Chain 6. This last one might be a little bit fiddly. And look at how your sunflower looks. If you feel like you need another flower petal right there, go ahead and put another flower petal in. I think I do. I think I want another flower petal there. I'll put that last one right there at the base. I feel like that will close up that hole a little bit better. Oh, I like that. I like that really well, and it smells nice. Both sides look great. I'll clip this off and weave in the ends and show you how to make the leaves for the sunflower. So to make the double leaf, we use green yarn or whatever color you want to use to make your leaf. Make a slip knot and chain 8. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Single crochet in the third chain from the hook. Half double crochet in the next chain. Double crochet in the next chain. Half double crochet in the next chain. Single crochet in the next chain. Then 2 single crochets in this last chain. One, 2, then chain 8. Now, repeat that leaf sequence in this chain 8. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Single crochet in the third chain from the hook. Half double crochet in the next chain. Double crochet in the next chain. Half double crochet in the next. Single crochet in the next. And 1 single crochet in the last. And then slip stitch on over into the side, the top, however you can get that to happen. I like to wrap that tail and slip stitch. Just insert your hook over there, and that's at the base of that first leaf you made. And there you have a double leaf. So we'll end off right here. Now this is the front. This is the front. We weave in one of those yarn tails and then leave the other yarn tail for sewing. So whichever one you choose, I'm going to choose to weave this one in and clip it off, and then I will leave this long tail for sewing. Then you take your sunflower, you figure out which side you like the best. Now I made this one with an F hook, and I don't know if you can notice or not, but the stuffing is poking through. It really does make a nicer sunflower if you use the E crochet hook. This F crochet hook, the stuffing pokes through. So usually you have a fancy side and a not so fancy side. So decide which side is the not so fancy and then turn it over and pin the leaves where you would like it to be. At the base right here is good. Then you want the leaves to like poke out just beyond the petals, just a little bit. I like to use a metal yarn needle for this since the yarn is so small, and I can just pinch that and get that to come through the eye of that metal yarn needle. You can use an embroidery needle, you can use a quilling needle, but use that yarn needle to just start fixing those leaves in place. And there you have it, a cute little sunflower that can be hung in a windowsill, can be attached to a garland, can just be thrown in your drawer and used as a sachet. These make wonderful sachets. The miniature pumpkins that I made last year still have their wax scent coming through. I keep them in my drawer, and they are so nice. I put one in the trunk of my car, and all winter and all spring it made my trunk smell nice. So I'm sure we could do this with these. You could hang these from the mirror. I think these would be so pretty hanging from the mirror of the car, as well as the pumpkins. The link to the pumpkins will be in the description below. The link to the written crochet pattern will be in the description below. It was good to have you on my side of the mountain. I hope you'll come again soon. Bye.